Crash Bandicoot. This lovable creature spun his way into our hearts all the way back in 1999 on the original PlayStation console. Crash is simple. Break boxes, spin enemies, beat the bad guys, and save your Bandicoot girlfriend whose pixels back in the day awakened something inside the best of us. When I found out the first 3 games were being remastered, myself and the rest of the 30-year-old gaming millennials collectively lost our shit. We were ready to go down nostalgia lane with our favorite forgotten mascot one more time over the course of 3 games: Crash Bandicoot, Crash 2, and Crash 3 Warped, only to find out that we were far better at these games when we only had a few brain cells back in the 90s. So I decided to take it upon myself to get the Platinum Trophy for the entirety of the N'Sane Trilogy, which currently has a rating of 7 out of 10 on PSN profiles. Why am I doing this? I've never been an achievement hunter. Because I've rapidly increased with age, I've come to the realization that I enjoy achievement hunting a little bit more now. I want to experience things that every game has to offer, and I like shiny trophies. So without further ado, I present to you my attempt to get the Platinum Trophy in Crash Bandicoot 1. Let's get it. We start our adventure with an introduction to our lovable little Bandicoot being experimented on at the Balenciaga HQ by our main villain, Dr. Neo Cortex. When something goes horribly wrong with the machine, and Crash is able to escape the clutches of this evil organization by running out of a glass window and falling into the sands of the beach below. While Crash is falling, we find that his girlfriend is the next to be tested up. As Cortex's gooners surround this poor animal, we fade to black. We start our adventure on Insanity Beach, a nice walkthrough tutorial lane teaching us how to spin, jump, and use Aku Aku Mess. The plan that I have to tackle this trophy is in 3 phases. Phase 1, beat the game. Phase 2, collect gems and relics. And Phase 3, clean up. I'd like to preface that I have quite a bit of experience with the Crash series and know what gems I can go for along the way if I feel like grabbing someone I can, like this first level. Moving on, we find ourselves on the second level. We're going to start collecting something new, Tana tokens, where if we collect 3, we can enter the bonus stages of the levels. Along the way, we got our first miscellaneous trophy.
It's our first trophy. In a single level, spin an enemy into another enemy twice.
After that, we got our 3rd Tana token and entered the bonus stage, where we got our 2nd trophy.
That's another one. Enter a bonus round after collecting 3 character tokens.
Afterwards, we finished the level and moved on, since I could only get the other gem with the help of a colored gem we can get later in the game. The next level is our first 2D level of the game. These are the levels that go left and right as we go up a giant gate. I'll say that these types of levels is where I would suggest using the D-pad, because even though they can be considered side-scrolling, there's still 3D space that you can jump around. For example, if you accidentally jump towards your screen, you jump off the map. We would get through this level only to realize that again we need a colored gem, so we move on to the next level. This level is definitely more of a classic level, where we run towards the screen for the entirety of the level while being chased by a boulder. What's nice is that we can get the clear gem on this level, but just as a reminder, if the boulder breaks a box, it does not count towards the gem, and you'll need to restart the level. We did not miss a box, however, and we got our next clear gem. We completed the next level with ease and found ourselves at our first boss, Papu Papu. For new players, this can be deceptively hard, as you need to bounce on Papu to hurt him, but the sweet spot is more around his back or neck area. Something that I found is setting up on his sides at the tip of the arrows on the ground and jumping as he swings down onto the ground, and then continuing till dead and getting the next trophy.
Papu popped. Be Papu Papu.
Moving on, we get to Hog Wild, where we jump on an unsuspecting hog and go full hog rider throughout this entire level. This level is really straightforward. Don't hit the spikes, don't hit the tribespeople, and jump on the drums to get over obstacles. Collect the boxes as you go, and that's an easy clear gem. I also remember there's a trophy to get as Coco, so I head back to the transmitter that unlocks the ability to swap characters and take on the next level as Coco. This is the final gate level and what I believe is the first real challenge you'll take on as far as levels go in this game. As we climb this gate, we manage to spin through enemies to get our next trophy.
Defeat 5 enemies with Coco Spin.
Now this is another level that requires a color gem to complete the 100%, but a big tip I can give you is that if you spin as you fall towards the fire platforms, you can cancel the bounce and jump faster forward, allowing you to get through the fire gauntlets on this level much faster, and it helps you with getting relics later on. The other thing during this is I'm going to be going for most boxes since they contain Wumpa, and you get 1 life per 100 Wumpa collected, which in turn goes towards the trophy of getting 99 lives. We take our first death in the next level, but manage to walk away with another clear gem.
Oh no, I died. Fuck.
before heading to my favorite boss in the Crash series, Ripperoo. This bouncing blue maniac can be tough, even for veterans of the Crash games. If you miss the timing once, it can throw you off. But a great rule of thumb is watch Ripperoo's movements. Then time the TNT crates with them. You want to jump on the TNT crates where his third jump would be. Once you find that timing, you'll complete the boss fight and get your next trophy. Now this next level is where we can attempt to get our first colored gem of the game, the green gem. The way that colored gems work in this game is that you have to get every box in the level without dying. If this is your first playthrough, then my suggestion would be not to worry about it, and just play through the levels till you're comfortable with the controls. This is where I got my next trophy though.
I meant to do that. Spit away an extra life.
This level specifically is what I like to call Reset City. I used to speedrun this game, and this was the major hurdle at the start of the runs because you need to get this gem in the any percent route to skip a level later on. Unfortunately for me, I died at the very end and missed the green gem and decided to trek onwards.
But you died. I've never seen that.
We completed the first temple level with ease and made our way to one of the 2 bridge levels. Now these levels are notorious for making people drop the game completely. Bridge levels contain some of the most rage-inducing level designs that will make you pull your hair out as you lose life after life after life. First thing that you may hate is the random spacing of each board that you have to jump on. Second thing is the random pigs charging at you through this level. And third is the turtles you have to jump on with momentum in order to get over larger jumps. If you can watch out for all of those, then it might be a breeze. Otherwise, don't get too down on yourself if you struggle. We all do. Bridge levels suck. Now, I do have a tip for these levels though. You can jump on the ropes, but on console, it's much more difficult to stay on them as this version of the game runs at 30 frames per second. Whereas on PC, it runs at 60, which allows us to run on the ropes almost like there's glue in our shoes. It's almost like it's its own separate platform. We beat another boulder level and moved to Sunset Vista, another major skill check in this game. Vista is a marathon of a level that is similar to Lost City, but twice as long. This level does introduce us to something new though, Cortex tokens. Similar to Taunt tokens, you collect 3 and enter a bonus level where you can collect keys at the end of the level. These levels are a little bit more difficult as they are Cortex, and you do get a very special collectible at the end of it. So take your time. You don't take deaths in these, and enjoy it. There are 2 keys to collect in this playthrough, and you can get the first in Sunset Vista. After collecting everything, we head out of this level and get to our next trophy.
Cortex Craze Contest.
Earn a key in Sunset Vista. Next up, we have a new boss, Koala Kong. Koala Kong is a straightforward boss fight. He throws small rocks at you, you spin, or you can dodge them, and then you wait for him to throw a big rock. You wait for it to stop moving, and then you spin it at him. There's going to be minecarts that are going across the level, and these will block the rocks that you spin at him, so try to avoid those. And then as the fight goes on, TNT crates are going to start falling from the sky. So just jump around the explosions, and you'll be out of there fast with your next trophy.
That was a really good cycle for Koala Kong. Defeat Koala Kong.
We head to the next level, which is a factory/sewer theme. At the start of the level, you can fall down between these 2 enemies and find some boxes, as well as a Brio token for the Brio bonus level. This is also where we get our next trophy.
On Cloud 99. Or 99 lives.
This is a pretty straightforward 2D level, so just collect all those boxes, do the bonus levels, and get that clear gem at the end of the level.
Yeah.
Cortex Power is a cool, almost top-down level that is also like a pick-your-path type gimmick. However, you can't 100% this without the blue gem, so just collect boxes and Wumpa if you haven't gotten your 99 lives yet, and get out of there. This next level is where you can get the yellow gem, but I messed up early with the checkpoint and opted to just come back later. We can dive more into this during the yellow gem. Toxic Waste is probably the most straightforward level, and probably the easiest color gem to get. You can run forward, dodge the barrels, and you get all the boxes without dying. It's an easy blue gem. Our next boss is my second favorite boss, Pinstripe. Walk behind the chairs, and Crash will auto duck behind them. Make sure you do not move when you get behind them. You can attack Pinstripe when he reloads his gun and moves back and forth between the chairs. And then when his gun jams on top of the desk, you can also stand underneath him, spin, and get your next trophy.
Pinstripe Patooey.
Defeat Pinstripe Patooey. Now we're back to Purgatory Simulator. We have our final bridge level, and this one makes the first look like a cakewalk. Take everything you learned from the first and amplify it by 10. Bigger jumps, more turrets, and more annoyingly placed pigs. I'm not gonna lie, I spent longer than I'd like to admit on this level, but it was worth it, because we got the clear gem and only need to get the relic later. Slippery Climb is the first and only of its kind. Similar to the gate levels, we are climbing up the side of the ruins of the next level, which is guarded by moving platforms, vultures, prisoners, scientists, and spikes. Similar to Sunset Vista, this is a marathon, not a sprint. With only 2 checkpoints, I suggest taking your time and go at your own pace while collecting all boxes to get that sweet clear gem at the end.
I'm so used to this.
Lights Out is another staple in the Crash Bandicoot series. Aku Aku masks grant you a free hit, but also give you enough light to see this level. You traverse the darkness with 3 masks, and if you get hit with your mask on, like normal, it'll disappear as well. You can use the left and right side of the hallways to catch yourself if you mess up a jump, otherwise this is a pretty straightforward level. This is another colored gem required level, so we quickly get through it and move on to the next. We find ourselves at the last temple level, as well as the last keep level. Temple levels have always been difficult for me. I don't know what it is, but I just can't seem to wrap my head around them. A couple tips for this level: jump on the cobras rather than spin them, because we're collecting Cortex tokens in this level, and spinning a certain cobra will actually destroy the token box. Secondly, in order to 100% this level, you will need the blue gem. This will take you around to collect the last of the boxes about halfway through the level, which we skip in this first playthrough. Lastly, to get to the Cortex bonus, you need to follow the Wampa trail that makes invisible platforms appear. Now, because I opted 100% this level later, we got our next trophy for missing a bunch of boxes.
Was a good call.
This next level is a pretty straightforward level where you can just get the clear gem, or if you have the green gem from earlier, you can just skip the entire level on the first run and collect a bunch of free lives that will be above the level. We get to the second last boss, Brio. This is a deceptively hard boss for some. Brio has 2 attacks, green bottles and purple bottles. Green bottles will create slimes that you jump on in order to hit him, and purple bottles will create explosions. My strat has always been to start on one wall and run in a U shape until the explosions stop. You can also jump around and dodge them. After his 3rd set of purple attacks, he'll transform into the Hulk and smash his way towards you 3 times. You just jump on one of the blocks and jump onto his head 3 times to beat him, or if you want to try some really cool speed strats, you can time a jump on the first attack and land on him. Then you can just run forward and kill him. Highly recommend watching a speedrun to see what I mean. But we beat Brio and we got our next trophy. We've reached our final level of the game, and this level introduces exclamation boxes, which opens doors and creates bridges. These are on a timer, so try to time them as best as you can. And if you want a free trophy, just run to the electric fence to get the trophy for dying.
Die.
Timers are the theme of this level, so just take your time to learn the timing of each obstacle and get out of there with your next gem. The Great Hall is pretty simple for the first time around. You just jump across the gap and you can make it to the next boss and the next and final boss, Dr. Neo Cortex, but we will be coming back once we've collected all the gems for the secret ending. Cortex on paper is an easy boss. However, with some hitboxes in this game, he can be really annoying. To defeat him, just dodge his attacks and spin the green attacks to create energy orbs that will deal damage. Hit him one last time and get your last boss trophy.
Cortex.
Wow. Thank you. Now we're moving into the mixture of Phase 2 and Phase 3, collecting gems and relics, while also getting any miscellaneous trophies along the way. For this part of the video, I decided to just cover any trophies as well as some of the more difficult gems/relics, as these are pretty straightforward levels for the most part. In order to get the relic trophies, you need to get gold relics. There are 3 tiers of relics to obtain: Sapphire, which is blue; Gold, which is gold; or Platinum, which will look white. Platinum relics are extremely difficult to get for newcomers, so don't worry about them because they're not required for this trophy. I decided to go backwards so I get the color gems while also getting a few relics along the way. I do this because if we get all the color gems before doing this, we can just start from the very beginning and move forward without having to worry about any extra pathways. So we head to Lights Out to use the yellow gem path and get the purple gem as well as our next trophy. Afterwards, we move on and get the rest of the color gems we missed. We get the red gem in Slippery Climb, which also got us our next trophy for collecting 13 gems. The next is the gold gem and generator room. Then heading back to Lost City for the green gem, which opens all the color gem paths in the game, and we can now 100% each level. This is where the grind begins. We head back to the very beginning of the game to start collecting relics and cleaning up gems. I didn't struggle too much with the relics. Basically, you just want to try and move forward while hitting every timer box to freeze time as much as possible, collect all the mass boss for the invincibility and speed boost, and then get the relic. After getting our 5th gold relic, we got our next trophy. I decided to take the approach of just showing you my relic times on screen and then showing you the trophies that we got along the way. That way you can see how fast I went for my trophies, and you can try to do the same or even beat my times. I don't think that going through and showing how all the relics and everything was really that entertaining as I went through this, and I figured just showing them on screen would probably be the best way of doing it. So I'm going to show you the rest of my the trophies that we got as we got the rest of our gems. The ultimate gem path. 26 gems. We got the last of the relics. Practice makes perfect. Earned 26 relics, gold orb. And we finished up our miscellaneous trophies. Oh, that's a trophy. Die. Cortex's terrifying trial. Earn a key. Which in turn allowed us to get that sweet, sweet platinum trophy. That is a platinum trophy. The intrepid Crash Bandicoot.
Hell yeah.
All Crash Bandicoot trophies.
Oh, hell.
I am now level 20.
Oh, heck.
All in all, Crash Bandicoot 1 is a very special place in my heart. It was the first 3D game I ever played, and it was one of the first times I remember bonding with my dad as a kid. Seeing it being remade in the trilogy gave me so much joy. This isn't the easiest platinum you can go for, but I think anyone who wants to get into this kind of thing is a great way to start. If you made it to the end here, I would love if you'd hit the like button, subscribe, and even leave a comment letting me know how I did. This is the first time I've ever tried to do videos like this. Typically, I've always done gameplay videos or some sort of compilation, but I've always wanted to give this a go. I want to give a special shout out to JT Plays, Valzu, and Dillboss for being the inspirations for me to get into this. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.